School threats put parents on edge and disrupt class for Capital Region schools. CBS 6 digging into districts' responses to recent concerning reports.
Plus, a bipartisan Senate bill meant to enhance border security, lacking key support in the House. The defiant stance from the majority party in where the deal does have support.
Also, preventing data breaches. It takes an effort from more than just one person, but there are some things you can do right now to protect your data.
CBS 6 News starts now.
First at 5, a crisis in the classroom and a rough start to the week for students at the Albany Academies. The school closed today after threats were discovered.
CBS 6's JT Fetch joins us live now in the studio with more. JT, it has been a concerning few days for Capital Region students and their parents.
Yes, it has been, Greg and Imani, and despite there being no...
Well, the state's 50th adult-use cannabis retail store opens in Albany County tomorrow. Brownies on Central Avenue in Colony is the first cannabis store in upstate owned by a black disabled woman.
And with cannabis storefronts growing in the Capital Region, local legislators are looking to see where this new tax revenue could be spent. CBS 6's Emma Quinn joining us now live from Colony near the new storefront with more. Emma, thank you. And you can get all of the day's top local stories, breaking news, and more by downloading the CBS 6 News app. It's available for free on the Apple App Store and on Google Play. Turning now to weather, taking a live look outside tonight over the city of Troy as the sun begins to set there. It was a bright and sunny start to the work week.
Yeah, I'm glad we can talk about the sun actually setting over the mighty Hudson in this case. Steve, I was going to call him Steve Meteorologist, but his name was actually Steve LaPointe, our chief meteorologist, standing by with more. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Greg. Hi, Imani. Yeah, I answer to anything. It's okay. Hey, third consecutive day now with sunshine.
Now, over the weekend, Governor Hochul sent out a statement saying this legislative draft is a major step forward and called on New York's Congress members to publicly support it.
And she doubled down on that call today.
This should be happening.
New York's Republican House delegation recently asked Hochul to join other governors, pledging support to Texas at the border. Hochul says that support should come from Congress. House GOP Conference Chair Elise Stefanik remaining defiant in a series of tweets in response to the governor's latest calls for bipartisanship on the issue. The Senate's border deal would change asylum law, making it tougher for those seeking asylum. New York State would also receive a share of $1.4 billion in aid.
On Long Island, early voting is now underway for the congressional seat left empty by the departure of George Santos, the former New York congressman now weighing in after he was ousted last year.
Santos says he won't vote in the February 13th election, saying it pits two Democrats against each other. Democratic Party nominee Tom Suozzi is trying to reclaim his old seat in New York's 3rd District, facing Mazi Phillip. She's the Republican nominee, but is still a registered Democrat.
The reality is the race right now, in my view, and in the view of many conservatives, real conservatives here in the district, is there's two Democrats on the ballot, and the option is, do we get a Democrat or a Democrat-Republican light version of a Democrat?
Santos facing 23 federal charges that include wire fraud, money laundering, and theft. While he's pleaded not guilty, court records show he's had discussions with prosecutors about the possibility of a plea deal.
Well, you may not be able to stop a data breach all by yourself.
But there are some things you can do right now to protect your own data.
And coming up a little bit later in sports, an unsurprising opinion from sports fans and bettors about the importance of Super Bowl Sunday. Data breaches on the rise. According to the most recent data from the Identity Theft Resource Center, the sheer volume of data breaches continues to skyrocket.
In 2023, there were more than 2,100 data compromises in the first 9 months of the year, setting an annual all-time high. Cassie Arsenault explains why we can't prevent data breaches personally, but shares some ways we can still protect ourselves.
Most of us have received a notification.
Monday we'll have to watch. Temperatures may be down enough to maybe mix in some snow showers with rain. It's a week away, though, so we'll see.
Anything can happen in a week. We know that, right?
True. I'm just focused on the 50 there.
There you go, and that's something. All right, almost spring. Sports is coming up next. First, a look at what's ahead here at 5:30.
That's right. Still to come, hearing a lot lately from lawmakers and experts about the dangers of social media on your children's mental health. Spotlight on America looks at the growing evidence.
A potential deal to release more hostages held by Hamas. I'm Atra El-Nashar with what we know about the terms of the deal and what it could mean for the war in Gaza.
sponsored by your local Upstate Chevy dealers.
A new Siena poll takes a look at sports betting just in time for the biggest day in sports, the Super Bowl, less than a week away now.
Siena and St. Bonaventure find 39% of Americans say they bet on sports. Most of those online sports bettors say it makes watching the game more exciting and believe they can profit. When it comes to the Super Bowl, 3 in 4 Americans will watch on Sunday. 36% of those polled consider it a national holiday. 50% say the Monday after should be a paid day off work.
You're here.
50% of people polled say they know someone with an online sports betting problem. If that's you or someone you know, New York State has a 24/7 hotline to gain treatment. The number to call and text is on your screen. And for soccer fans, the 2026 World Cup final will be played just hours away at MetLife Stadium. The final match is set to take place in 2 years on July 19th.
Oh yeah, it's going to be busy. Busy is probably not the word. You probably have to find another word in the dictionary for that. But probably going to get a lot of traffic.
This is just huge for us. $2 billion predicted in economic revenue. We're looking at 14,000 jobs, over 1 million tourists.
FIFA expanded the World Cup from 32 to 48 nations and increased matches from 64 to 104. The 2026 tournament will be co-hosted by the U.S., Mexico, and Canada, with all games from the quarterfinals on being played in the U.S.
A lot of talk online already. They have to put a grass field in there instead of the artificial turf because there's, a lot of knee problems that come up with that artificial turf at MetLife.
Yeah, so that will be interesting
we'll
to
watch
see.
for that. Yeah.
All right, well, still to come, we're just learning tonight that UAlbany head coach Greg Gattuso will stay with the Great Danes for another 2 years. A full report on that ahead in sports at 6.
Next at 5:30, CBS 6 gets an exclusive look at a brand new beverage canning line.
How it's playing a role in job growth and the future of energy usage.
Also, England's King Charles diagnosed with cancer. What we know is he undergoes treatment. First at 5:30, your top stories and your weather headlines. Here is what you need to know.
The Albany Academies closed today after threats were made over text messages and on social media late last night. Police are investigating and were told other local schools reported similar messages.
Some Albany County legislators want to create a special fund for money from cannabis sales tax. The money would go to programming aimed at youth violence prevention.
Governor Hochul is calling on New York's GOP House delegation to support the Senate's bipartisan border deal. House Republicans say the bill doesn't go far enough. In-depth coverage on all of these stories online. Just head to CBS6Albany.com.
Getting an inside look at the newest canning line at Adirondack Beverage, producing millions of cases of product every year.
But to get this project and the jobs attached, they needed power. If you recall, in November, we went to Mount Defiance in Ticonderoga, where we saw National Grid's efforts to modernize the grid on that transmission line.
But now CBS 6's Tom Eschen takes a look at modernization at the local level and why this company's investment in power is an investment in its future.
Tom Eschen reporting for us there. In addition to National Grid, Schenectady Metroplex, Empire State Development, and the town of Glenville also collaborated to make this project happen. Brian Acito says that correlation was key in getting it to the finish line. Hostage negotiations in the Middle East. Israel waiting for a response from Hamas about a potential agreement for a pause in fighting and the release of some remaining hostages, as this week will mark 4 months in captivity. National correspondent Atra El-Nashar has more tonight from Washington.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken.
King Charles has cancer. Buckingham Palace says it was found during surgery to correct an enlarged prostate. Charles is postponing his public duties while he receives treatment. The nature of his cancer and treatment has not yet been revealed. The 75-year-old Brit ascended the throne in September 2022 after the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. Still to come, warnings about social media's effect on your child's brain with some alarming findings.
Next tonight, Spotlight on America takes a look at the growing evidence and the risks that we know about.
And self-diagnosing a disorder, doctors say could end up getting treatment you really don't need. How social media is playing a role for some patients.
And a hands-on experience incorporating songs and storytelling. The performance held today at Proctor's Theater as we highlight stories and honor Black History Month. Tonight, some alarming discoveries about the effects of social media on young people.
More evidence coming to light of its impacts on their brain development. Spotlight on America's Christine Frizzell investigates. ADHD, attention deficit disorder, is one of the most common childhood disorders, impacting millions of children, and symptoms can last into adulthood.
But experts say misinformation about ADHD on social media may put some people at risk.
If everybody starts identifying themselves.
All right, thank you, Steve. 50 degrees, it's a-coming.
I will take it.
All right, I know you will. Next tonight, continue our coverage honoring Black History Month.
Step Africa, how they're bringing traditional dance to the stage and telling stories that make the audience a part of the fun.
And if you're looking for deals this month, who isn't? We'll break down where you can save with a big ticket item you're going to want to possibly buy this week.
Have your heart set on shopping this month. Valentine's Day and President's Day are right around the corner.
Who doesn't? February's best sales are already on for things like mattresses, TVs, smartphones, and refrigerators. In tonight's Consumer Report, CBS 6's Lara Bryn reveals the deals you'll love all month long. All month long. Nothing says Valentine's Day like a nice snowblower, right?
There you go. I guess
your
so.
loved ones. All right, as part of our ongoing Black History Month coverage tonight, we highlight Step Africa, the first professional stepping company.
They left a Capital Region audience floored with their latest performance, blending rhythmic precision with cultural celebration. Intricate footwork and powerful chants showcase the rich history of stepping. The performance held at Proctor's Theater featured a dynamic fusion of traditional African dance, percussive beats, and modern influence, highlighting the company's commitment to promoting stepping as an educational tool. With each step, performers integrated songs, storytelling, humor, and audience participation, displaying a sense of unity, resilience, and pride.
I think one of the biggest goals is the interaction, is the community feel that stepping literally brings to a room. So I think that's one of the first steps we try to make sure the audience understands, is that you're going to be a part of this experience.
We are able to mesh so many art forms together. We're able to shine light on the African diaspora in so many ways. We're able to bring our roots from South Africa here to the United States and share that. We're able to share the South African gumboot dance. We're able to share West and South African dance. Inglamu, which is most commonly known as Zulu, a Zulu warrior dance. We're able to share that day in and day out.
Celebrating their 30th anniversary, Step Africa is one of the top 10 African-American dance companies in the United States and the first dance company to be inducted into the National Association of Campus Activities.
Actually, you know it's a good show because you see the audience, they're all into it.
Yeah,
you know, even those first few rows, you can see it. Everybody's into it.
Looks like a great time there. All right, well, still to come tonight, putting cannabis sales tax revenue to good use.
Yeah, the plan from some leaders in Albany County as the state's 50th legal pot shop prepares to open up there this week.